Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. The reaction tonight is coming from TISA Tales from YouTube. Okay, and it's talking, yeah, Diddy, but it's talking about the civil cases and how since like the lawyers' closing argument, or what he said, like even after the verdict, about he's dangerous, he's mean, he's whatever, you know. They left the door open for all these civil cases, and I'm gonna let Cheese explain it because y'all know me. I can't explain it as good as some people, okay? So I'm gonna let her explain it. And y'all, please, as you come in, please hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Y'all, come in and sit down. We gotta talk. They are saying Diddy
Uh-oh. 1 second.
is about to go broke. Now let's talk about it, y'all. Diddy thought he dodged the big one. No SMEX trafficking conviction, no RICO conviction, just about two Mann Act convictions, and this man thought he was just going tiptoe out the door with some bail. Now listen, Judge Aaron told him to sit down before he sits him down. But y'all, let's actually talk about how Diddy forgot one thing: the civil cases. And now, Jane Doe, the escorts, and every person who's ever got flown out under pressure just got a legal cheat code and they're coming straight for his money. Y'all, let's get into this because all I got to say is, baby, we love to see it. Now, first of all, I want everybody on the internet to understand what Diddy was actually convicted of and why it's a civil lawsuit gold mine. All right, so let's get into it. Because this part matters more than people and the Diddy supporters realize.
Yeah.
A lot of
Really.
folks heard Mann Act and thought it was some dusty technical law. And I'm not going to lie, it is rooted in racism, white slavery. However, over the years, okay, over the years, it evolved and is one now the most powerful tools that prosecutors use in SMEX trafficking. All right, y'all got that? Now let's get into this. All right. So, the Mann Act now is a federal SMEX crime statute, and baby, it has teeth. It carries prison time up to 20 years. And if you plead guilty or you're convicted, that stays on your record for life. Now, baby, Diddy was convicted. So, what exactly was Diddy convicted of? Under US Code 2421, the Mann Act makes it a federal felony to knowingly transport a person across state lines for the purposes of illegal sexual activity, whether that's prostitution, commercial smex, or coercive sexual arrangements that violate state or federal law. Now, let's break this down legally because I need for people in the back to hear this. Knowingly means it wasn't accidental. You booked the flights, you arranged the hotel, you knew what was going to happen. For illegal sexual activity includes smex under coercion, fraud, drugs, manipulation, or exploitation, not just formal prostitution. And crossing state lines turns it into a federal.
And the thing is, it can be like, as far as the criminal part, it it can't be Cassie, it can't be Jane, because they already had been tried. It'll be double jeopardy, right? Um, and even Rico, they can't do it with Rico with the people that they already had. It's got to be somebody new. It's got to come from another angle, right? And which I already heard it is on the way. It was signed like, I can't remember the videos and taking care of my mom. I'm just can't remember. So sorry. But it has to come from another direction, another person. And then, but as far as civil, you know, since his lawyer already admitted that he got an anger problem and he's very mean, or however he put it, the court terms, um, that that sort of opened the doors up for the civil suits, you know. Um, I'll let Tisa finish explaining, okay? And Tisa, get some rest, girl. All right, here we go.
Offense, not just a local scandal. And that's exactly what federal prosecutors alleged Diddy did multiple times over multiple years to multiple women and the escorts. So even if the charges were sealed, okay, and even if he didn't serve time, which they are not sealed, and he is going to serve time, a conviction or guilty plea under the Mann Act means the federal government proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he used his power, wealth, and transportation access to commit sex crimes. Baby, let that sit in. No, literally, let us. Okay, now let's see. Now, here's why the conviction is a civil lawsuit jackpot. It removes the burden of proof for future plaintiffs. That's right. Jane Doe and the escorts don't need to prove that Diddy intended to exploit them across state lines.
Oh,
All they have to do is show up and say, Yana, here's his federal conviction. He's already been found guilty of doing this exact thing. They don't need him to be convicted of sex trafficking. They only need to show by a preponderance of the evidence that it's more likely than not that he harmed them. A Mann Act conviction is like a neon sign for the judge saying this man has done this before. This isn't theoretical.
right.
The Mann Act makes him legally vulnerable even without jail time. Because let's be clear, Diddy may be able to avoid a lengthy prison sentence, but legally, he's now a convicted SMEX offender under federal law. That's admissible. That's powerful. And in a civil court, baby, that's money. The survivors don't need to prove consent was absent. They don't need to prove, oh, I didn't consent, I didn't want it. They don't have to sit up in front of those juries and listen to them watch all the horrors and being like, yeah, you wanted it. The law has already said it didn't matter because under the Mann Act, consent isn't valid if the sexual activity involves fraud, manipulation, or abuse of power. So when people say, well, they agreed to go, the court has already decided the agreement was not legally valid. You cannot legally agree to let somebody exploit you like that. Now, here's the translation for the timeline and the people in the back. Diddy just didn't take a PR hit, y'all. He was legally branded as someone who exploits women using power, travel, and coercion, even if he never wears an orange jumpsuit. And he will. Even the best estimate, Mark Garagos has him as a year. His money is now on the table, and the bill is coming due. But y'all, let's also focus on the civil fallout, okay? How this these two convictions opened the lawsuit floodgates. Diddy's Mann Act conviction didn't close that chapter. It cracked the safe open. Because now that Diddy's been formally convicted of a federal sex crime, what's that mean? Take a guess. Every person who has ever been flown out, locked down, coerced, rugged, assaulted, manipulated, or just controlled by this man in a sexual context, baby, they have legal ammo.
Y'all know I gotta stop it. Dang. But anyway, yeah. So whoever he flown out that just say they scared because he gonna pop up at their house, or some reason they scared and they just feel they gotta go. They gotta do this. They gotta do that. Yeah. Civil suit. And also did hear that Jane Doe could sue civilly. That's what I heard. I heard Jane Doe could sue civilly. Yeah. I did hear that, y'all. I get it all together, I promise. If I don't forget tomorrow, okay? But Jane Doe, y'all let me know too in the comments. Y'all probably know more about law than me. Okay? Anyway, yeah. because the way he held it. No, for the beating, for when he beat her. Yeah, because that didn't come up like Cass's did. But I think it's when he had beat her and when she went and hid behind that wall for 2 hours and then came and all of that stuff. I think that's what they're talking about, that she could go civilly, and that might be why Wigdor was sitting up in there too. I know Wigdor said that he had a lawsuit that was he's doing right, and you already know Tyrone Blackburn got Lil Rod and another one, but Wigdor got one, and I don't know if he's doing Jane Doe's or not, but they kept saying he was in the courtroom at like the verdict and all of that stuff, the closing arguments on, yeah, and he said I heard him out his own mouth on a news station that he said that he was going to be trying a case. He was going to do it. So, yeah. I just thought I'd share that with you. All right.
Who are we talking about? Jane Doe, the escorts, any background dancers, industry girlfriends, paid for plus ones. I'm just saying, did he pay for their time, not their body? And the ones who were told, this is how it works, get used to it. And anyone who had to play along to survive. Now, thanks to collateral estoppel, it's a legal term, Diddy can't just show up in court and say, I didn't do that. Because the federal government already said, yes, you did in fact do that. The Mann Act conviction means every survivor's legal team gets to skip step one. They don't have to prove if he's guilty. They get to focus on how much he owes. And baby, of course, this is about money, not prison. But again, don't let people screw you with the okie doke. Okay? Don't let people screw you with the okie doke of, oh, no, why are you doing civil? You just want money? Hell yeah, run that fool's
Get that
pockets
money.
up. Because without that money, these people wouldn't be on their hands and knees begging for pennies doing his evil work. All right? This is about money, not prison. The criminal court gave us the label. The civil court is going to send the invoice. Under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act and the related civil statutes, these survivors can now sue for pain and suffering, psychological trauma, emotional distress, loss of income, punitive damage, attorney's fees, and lifetime therapy costs. And those numbers add up fast. If one woman wins a $5 million judgment, that sets a precedence for the next and the next and the next. And this is how predators lose everything after the verdict. Diddy is now one mistake away from losing it all forever.
What do y'all think about it? As far as them going to civil court, I guess the ones that took the stand can that doesn't have like Cassie, she can't. But the other ones, like for emotional distress, pain and suffering, just like who is that? I don't know about Mia. I don't know about, but she said she has to go for to a psychiatrist or something, and PTSD and all that stuff, and Jane, and I know Jane better go because she got beat down. You hear me? Man, she better roll up in there. The only reason she don't is because she think once she get out, and I say 15 years, and I did wink. I noticed when I look back at the video, y'all can't even tell I even wink, but I'm winking because I'm hoping to get 20 if you don't get 15. And that, to me, I'll be happy because I didn't know Rico even was life. I didn't know that. I was just saying in my mind, I hope he get 15, 20 years. That way I'll be going by age, age. Shoot. Let him be 74 when he get out. And that's including time served in the jail. So instead of saying 75, I said 74, okay? But yeah, the way he was beating men and the women. I mean, the men too. The men too. And then Busby got these cases, right? So they just popping, popping, popping. And some of them criminal. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like I told y'all yesterday, Gene Deal said his was being signed as he was speaking. Diddy wanted somebody to murk Gene Deal. Because the way Roger Bond, he know, right? Because Roger Bond's like, yeah, they would wanted us to put a hurting on Gene Deal when we saw him, and we just kept telling him we didn't see him. But Gene said he know what that meant. That don't mean beat somebody, beat them up, that like that. He wanted me under the dirt. That's what Gene Deal said. Okay, on Art of Dialogue yesterday or day before yesterday. I saw it yesterday. So you can go watch it. He said that mean he wanted him under the dirt. So I don't know what he's doing, like the lawsuit or whatever, but he says it's being signed as they were speaking, and it don't sound like it's civil to me. Don't sound civil. And I heard Tyrone Blackburn then got his, because it's the first time Lil Rod, I went and looked at academics during interviewing, though I don't like Fluffy. But said that he okay, he said he's next. This is Tyrone Blackburn's first time doing a federal case, so he was missing a paper, missing something, but now he got it right. And Stevie J running around because they trying to give him a subpoena. He running around, so I guess they got that straight, right? Then they had a gag order. All the lawyers had that gag order on them from the grand jury. So Lil Rod said now he does, and he said everybody was coming for him, talking about him, saying his case was thrown out and all that stuff. But Tyrone Blackburn could not speak nothing about it. And Lil Rod was in during say he had to go to during therapy and take, because he was scared. Yeah, he said that's why he didn't have a PR person, nobody to speak for him, because he did not know who to turn to. He said every time he woke up, he kept seeing. They told me whoever this dude is in the courtroom. I forgot their name, but it's like they one of them pews like from the service or something. One of them. So he said he kept seeing them, and he had to go to a psychiatrist. So he said now he's just being able to talk. Because people talking, why he talking now? Why he talking? Because he able mentally to talk, right? And now they didn't, after the verdict, now Tyrone Blackburn can speak, okay? And he did not run over the server, okay? The Rod was on the phone. He said they was on FaceTime talking, and it was the server jumping on the darn car, okay? The one from Fat Joe. So I do believe that. Because I was wondering how you run over a darn server. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Because them criminal cases are coming. That's why they keeping him in jail, because he's a danger to society. And y'all don't know all them letters that he got begging the judge not to let him out because he was so dangerous, all this, all that, all that. And then you see how they acted in front of the freaking courthouse. I mean, even though that ain't a crime, but you know what I'm saying? The children in and out every day, or some days, looking all sad. Then the one that looks like Diddy, he goes in. Now I thought it was sweet. He had a shirt on with his mama's picture on it, right? And then after the verdict, shoot, he done took the shirt off. And I don't know what he did with it. That's what when he was doing his little push-ups. I'm like, man, y'all there. Now y'all all over the internet, on the news. And most of them now saying, "Oh, look, I hate I did that. I hate I did that. Oh my God, look, I'm right here and I'm right there." Right? But anyway, it's only one that I know of out that group on the way to the pen. On the way to the pen. I always ask your bond people if you can come. Because you asked them the first time, you came. But then you left and went back home. Then you forgot to ask them when you came back and they found out and they saw you going off on a female. And you can't even say it wasn't you. All right. So anyway, yeah. So it can be criminal. Yeah. So I'd be happy with that. I don't even know Rico. Okay. You know what I mean, y'all?
And baby, we love to see it. And here, because you guys, I don't care. Listen, this is a point of discourse, but even a fool can see that right now, and by fools, I mean everybody but his supporters outside, can see that now that there's a federal conviction on record, Diddy can never afford another mistake. If another Jane comes forward tomorrow, if he loses his temper in a hotel suite, if a party gets filmed, if a former assistant comes clean, or if an escort feels emboldened, baby Diddy is done. Because that one new lawsuit, that lawyer just walks in with the Mann Act paperwork and says, look at the pattern. He did this before. He's doing it again. The judge doesn't need a full trial. The judge doesn't need to guess. They already know who he is. And this time, he can't claim innocence. He already signed that away. Baby, this is the final word on this fallout, day 5 of the Diddy trial. Diddy trial verdict fallout, I guess. Diddy thought that literally only being convicted of those 2 counts could save his empire. But what he really did was hand every survivor the legal weapon they were missing. He thought it was over, but the truth is that signature under the Mann Act just made it open season for his life. Again, I want you guys to know he pled guilty on 2 counts. And it's not even what he pled guilty for, it's what he admitted on the record. Mark Agnifilio admitted he was very violent, admitted he did all those horrible things. That's why he got denied bail. Everything he admitted in that court can be used in a civil suit. Baby, again, the Mann Act blew the door open. And get this, the feds might not be done. The Mann Act wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It was a wedge, a crack in the dam. And now the water is rushing in, civilly and perhaps even criminally. Let's be clear. When the federal court convicts you under the Mann Act, you don't just lose reputation, you lose protection. How? Well, how about this? First, the civil floodgates are wide open. Every woman who thought, well, I can't sue, no one would believe me, now has something powerful in their corner. A federal conviction confirming this man used SMEC's power and interstate travel to exploit women. This is the legal equivalent of blood in the water, and the sharks are circling with lawsuits, lawyers, and trauma timelines. And the Trafficking Victims Protecting Act, that's a TVPA, which works hand in hand with the Mann Act, gives survivors up to 10 years from the date of discovery to file civil claims for coerced SMECs, rug-fueled manipulation, emotional and psychological abuse, commercial exploitation, and anything tied to a pattern of grooming and trafficking.
All right, please.
And the best part is, they don't need a new conviction. They just need to say, this happened
Sorry,
to me too, and it matches what he's already been convicted of. This is copy and paste civil court gold. But here's the cold truth. He's not safe criminally either. And this is the one thing these Diddy supporters don't want to admit.
That's what I was trying to say, and y'all know I hate stopping the video, but it's not mine. I'm just reacting. But that's what I was trying to tell y'all as far as the criminal. She's about to say something now, and y'all, yeah, I don't think he's getting out. I mean, do y'all think he gonna get out on bail, on bond? Bail, bond, I don't know the difference. I really don't. Federal is bond. That's what I'm gonna guess. So I don't think he's gonna get out. Cause you remember, don't forget tomorrow they doing the virtual meeting on the phone. I think it's just the two lawyers. I mean, defense and the prosecution and the judge. That tomorrow is when they supposed to meet, well, virtually on the phone to talk about, I guess, sentencing instead of waiting October. And then the judge might say, no, I'm gonna wait till October. I don't know. We're gonna know tomorrow though, huh? Yeah. All right, so let me see what she's gonna say now.
Admit, Diddy thinks his Mann Act conviction was the end of it, a sealed deal, a quiet close. But that's not how feds play the long game. Let's look at the R. Kelly blueprint. First case, acquitted. Second, mistrial. Third, media circus, no charges. Fourth swing, boom, federal trafficking conviction, decades behind bars. The DOJ took 4 tries to build a perfect criminal case. And when they hit, baby, they hit hard. Same with Epstein. Same with Weinstein. Pattern cases take time. And now the Mann Act conviction, the two of them, has done 2 dangerous things for Diddy. It preserved criminal liability because if any new victim steps forward with a federal violation, or if any past violations falls within the statute of limitations, the feds can reopen an investigation and file new charges. And this time, they bring the pattern. They bring the pattern, and they might still get the RICO. Now, I know what you're saying, double jeopardy. They can never try him for RICO again. Yes, for the trafficking of Cassie and Jane.
Yeah.
But for anybody else, still open season.
Jody.
So, again, like I said, let's just say Diddy loses his temper again, like he allegedly did with Jane. Let's say the former employee hands over those rumored videos. Let's say someone flips, a driver, a manager, a fixer. If one more credible case lands on a prosecutor's desk, Diddy is not just writing checks, he's doing time.
Hold up. That means, I'm going by what she just said. So that means she said if one more. So what I said about a Gene Deal, about his being, and I'm thinking his is a criminal, not a, criminal, not civil. So that could bring more charges. I absolutely know Lil Rod's is, because he said the feds didn't even use a fourth of what he gave them because they were saving it for something else. So that's why I said I don't think he's getting out, y'all, because these 2 charges are 10 each, right? And he can get whatever they give him. Was time served, whatever, all the way up to 20. But if he gets some charges added on, it goes up and up and up, right? So never know. All right, I was just guessing.
Diddy is in a holding pattern, y'all, one step from collapse. Now, right now,
please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much.
Again, this is dangerous legal limbo. The feds have enough to expose him. The civil suits are lining up to bankrupt him. One more misstep and he is R. Kelly 2.0. He doesn't even have to assault anyone new. If a case from 2016-17 surfaces and falls within the 10-year window, he could be charged under the same law he just literally got convicted of. But this time, it's going to be worse. And because he's already a convicted SMEX offender, the next jury won't be asking if, they'll be asking how many years. Baby Diddy tried to close the door with a sealed deal, but what he really did was leave it unlocked and light a fire on the way out. Civilly, he's vulnerable. Criminally, he's on probation without papers. Financially, the invoices are coming, baby. One misstep, one more Jane, one more temper tantrum, and the government that let him slide this, I'm sorry, not the government, the jury that let him slide this time, baby, they will swing again. And next time, they're saying they might not miss. Woo!
Different
baby.
jury.
This is some heavy stuff. What do y'all think about this? Because at the end of the day, Jane's case is just a start. Jane Doe may potentially file suit. Again, if she did, it would outline rugging, rape, psychological control, and exploitation across multiple states, the exact blueprint for the Mann Act charges. And because Diddy has already pled guilty to similar behavior, her legal team has momentum. But what happens when the escorts file? What happens when a second Jane Doe, if they exist, steps forward, or a third, or a fourth, or a fifth? If even one wins a multi-million dollar verdict, the rest will follow. This isn't a gossip headline anymore. It's mass tort territory. You guys keep this in mind, okay? And I want everybody to know this and just keep hope alive because the universe always bends to the arc of truth. Okay? Again, keep it in mind. Let's end this with a little hope and a little heat. Because if you've been watching this and thinking, where's the justice? Baby, you're not alone. Diddy is, I don't think justice was served yet.
Right.
There's whispers of charges in California, maybe New York, maybe federal RICO, and
Come on now.
maybe they'll file, or maybe they won't.
Come
But
on
I'm
now.
going to tell you what I do know and what I do think. Justice doesn't always come in the form of a courtroom. Sometimes it shows up in the mirror. And Diddy is a man who survived off control, intimidation, manipulation for over 2 decades.
Ooh,
That's not
them
just
dark
strategy,
mirrors. Yeah.
that's identity. And now that identity is under threat, Diddy is no longer in control. He's being watched. He's being whispered about. He's being laughed at. He's being outed in
Oh
court
yeah, here we
records,
go.
sealed deals, and public opinion. And a man like Diddy, baby, he doesn't collapse quietly.
Yeah. He ain't nobody gonna want Diddy touching them. I mean, he ain't got it, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Y'all can put what y'all want in that thing. As long as it's nice, okay? Don't be mean to me, please. But Diddy, after what they heard, all the stuff that happened, you know what I'm saying? About the letting the stuff get on him and play with it and eat it and all. Ugh. Who want? Did ain't got the? He ain't gonna have that same kind of swag he had at the beginning before everybody knew what was going on behind them closed doors and how it ain't what you're doing and having fun with it. It ain't that. It's just the you you got to go to the doctor. Okay, point blank. Period. You got to go to the doctor for the rest of your life. You got to have medication forever. So everybody, you know, and it's a lot. You know, who? When did it start? It had to be a long time ago because, like Lil Rod said, I'm just going by the definition of what he said. The person at the Super Bowl that did the Super Bowl, and they ain't talking about Kendrick Lamar. You know the one before that had that got it right, and yeah. So it go a long ways back. Oh my god. Whatever, y'all. But I'm gonna get out of here. It's this the earliest I ever got to finish, cause I see y'all, and I thank y'all for coming over here just looking at me anyway. I appreciate it. I see y'all, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. And I hope I can find some a lot better. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. And please, y'all, please hit the subscribe button. I'm like now I'm like 8 away. Somebody keep yeah, somebody keep unsubscribing. I don't know. But gotta get it together for me. And when it's my time, it's my time. But anyway, I think YouTube already got it because they sent me an email. But now I'm not do it. But thank y'all for coming over. And I don't know what happened. But I'll see y'all later, okay? Before everything mess up. All right. Good night, y'all. Have a blessed night.